Hello everyone and welcome back to my Unreal Engine tutorial series in making your own 3D platformer. In this video I did two things. I set it so that we can blend between first person camera and third person. So you can see here I press V and we can look around and we can move around straight. If I press V again, go back to the third person and everything is normal. Nice and easy, right? And the second thing I did was on request from another person, they wanted a rolling attack similar to Mario Odyssey. So I have created this rolling attack over here. So essentially what happens is if we roll into the enemy, we'll deal damage. Yeah, every time we hit them, they take damage. And then eventually they'll die. So I have it set up right now so that I can hit them. There we go. And then they're dead. And then we can stop and go back. So obviously this would be, you'd need to make your animations better. This was just animation I quickly threw together in say like 5 minutes. Just so I could put this tutorial together. And this is how we could get the rolling attack. It also allows us to double jump, and I've also said that so we can't left click or light attack when we're doing this, and you can combine it together with the jumping one. So if we're rolling, we can go over here. Whoop, yeah, that launched him. That wasn't supposed to. There we go. So that's all I'm doing for this tutorial. In the next tutorial I'll be going over changing these portals to be more Spyro like. And maybe adding a loading screen so that we can actually see what the portals will look like in Spyro, or like in a Spyro-like format. Yeah, but I think we're pretty much close to the end of this tutorial series. It will just be some polish and maybe a few requests from the community. So if there is something you'd like to see, put them in the comments below regarding the platforming series, and I'll try to assist or create something that will be helpful. I was going to do the saving part, but I'm not sure if I'm still going to do that, as saving is very difficult as it stands right now. If you don't have extensive knowledge on saving, which I don't yet, I'm still trying to figure it out. But once I do, I'll probably put up a tutorial regarding how to save correctly. And base it off this tutorial series so that we can save all our coins, all the stuff in the world correctly, so that we can all interact with things properly, right? But that's going to be it for now, so I hope I'll see you in the next tutorial, and looking forward to it. Cheers for now. Okay, so here we are in our player blueprint, and we're going to do the camera, the switching between first and third person camera. So what we want to do is we want to come over to our mesh, right? And we're going to add a camera there. So just look for a camera, and we'll just call this FP underscore camera for first person camera. And as you can see, it's currently set to the origin. So let's set this to a parent socket. So we'll set this to the head, right? And you'll see it'll get all messed up. So all we need to do is just rotate it to match how we want it. And this is what I use to get a nice first person camera, but you can obviously fiddle to find what you want. On the X it's 6 and on the Y it's 10. That just pushes the camera nice forward and pushes it far enough, right? And the second thing we want to change is this use pawn control rotation. We want to check that, right, for our camera. So now that we've got our first person camera, what we want to do is come over to our event graph, find some free space, and I'm just gonna use a debug event. You can use whatever you set your keys to. So I'm going to use debug key V. That will be like Skyrim. And all you want to do is get a flip-flop off the pressed node, like so. And you want to go get both your cameras and just get them, like so. And we're going to set it so that the first time we press it, we go to first person, and then the second time we press it, we go to third person, right? So we're just going to go set active, like so. And when we first press it, we're going to set it as active, and then we can copy this and put it as not active for the follow camera, right? And then we'll copy all of this and do the opposite on the flip-flop. So do it like that. And that is essentially it. So this will be camera switching, like so. Okay, so here we are in our world. That's all fine. So here we are. I'm just going to press V, and now we'll go into first person, as you can see. And we can walk run around. And if I press V again, now we're back here. Now press V again. It'll let us switch really easily between how we want. And we can look down and see our legs and not have anything. We can obviously look behind us, which is not great. So what we can do is get the character to rotate with us when we look around, right? So what we can do then is we can come back in here and we're gonna go set control rotation yaw and check it on, and then come over here, check it off, and let's see if that worked. Or we can set it so that that's all fine. Yeah, there we go. Now we can't look behind us as our character rotates. And we press this again, now we can walk like normal. Okay, so next we're going to do the rolling attack. So we're going to first import some rolling animations. So I will provide some very quick thrown together rolling animations that I created for you. So just import both of them onto your menu, like so. That should all be good. There we go. Stand to roll, which is okay. So let's just get to frame 30 and just delete everything afterwards. So we just have this animation, right? And then we're going to save it and then go to this one and go from frame 30. We're gonna go here, sorry, and remove frames 0 to 30, so it's only the rolling animation, which is great. So we're going to set this to force root lock, so we've got this nice rolling animation, and we're going to set it to loop because we want it to loop. Okay, so that's essentially how our rolling animation looks. So now that we've got these two, what we need to do is we need to add them to our animation blueprint. So open up your player, wherever that is, there we go. Just make sure you save somewhere and come over to your character, get your animation blueprint so we know which one we're working with. This one. Okay, and now we're gonna let's basically set a variable here, right? So we're gonna get our character. So let's just add it to the end here. Okay, like this. Let's add the variable to our character. So is in rolling, right? And by default it's false because we're not in rolling. So then we're just gonna go get is in rolling. Get is in rolling. Do I have the wrong reference? Yes, I do. That's why. Okay. Is in rolling. There we go. And then we're gonna promote this to a variable. Is in rolling, which is fine. Just connect this up here. I'm gonna go set rolling state, like so. And then what we want as well is a sphere trace. Not sphere trace, a sphere collision on our capsule. And we'll say it is about 50 big, which is fine, and it needs to go down to the bottom. So make sure it just lines up with the bottom of the capsule component, like so. And I'll explain why. So essentially what happens is we're going to go into our rolling state, which would force our character down, and then this sphere becomes our damage sphere. So when it interacts with an enemy, it will then deal damage to the enemy, right? Hope that makes sense. So let's go back over to our animation blueprint, and now we're just going to go over to the animation graph. We're going to go here. Let's create a new state machine. We're going to call it rolling, and I'm just going to cache it. Cache rolling cache, like so. Okay, I'm going to go state. Yes, there's going to be stand to roll, and then from here we're going to get another state, which is rolling. Actually, what we need is another state, which is the idle. Do we need it? Actually, I don't think we need that. So let's do this. Connect. Okay, and now we need to get from our animation blueprint. We're gonna go to the rolling. We're gonna get the stand to roll. Connect this up, and then we're gonna go here and get our rolling animation. We might not need this. I'll say this is automatic rules based on sequence. Come back over to your main state, and we're gonna go from locomotion. We're gonna get a new state. We'll call this rolling state. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna need it. Maybe we will. I'm just gonna double check how I did the crouch here. Yeah, I don't think we'll need that original state over there. So let's just put this to this, get rid of that. Yes. We're going to rolling states. It's just saying that we don't have anything here. We're gonna put in rolling state cache, right? So if we do this, now it's saying we don't have a transition rule, so we can't see why. So we're just going to go here, and we're going to go get is rolling and set that up here, and go back here. We're going to set this as not bool, and then you shouldn't have any errors. So what we can do is come over to our animation graph and just test this out quickly. So we set this. So let's branch it. Let's do the math correctly. Well, code correctly here. So we're going to check if we are rolling first, right? And if we are rolling, we're going to then set rolling to false. If we're not rolling, we're then going to set this to true, right? So if we do this and we just check it, we should now go to the rolling state. Which should be fine. We did set this as root. Okay, so let's check it out. So if we go here and press B, now we're rolling. And we might want to change that so that it rolls only in place. So come over to your animation, roll, and I think it's force root lock, maybe. 0, animate the first frame, 0. Let's just double check quickly. Yeah, so it's gonna kind of work like that. Like I said, this is a bit janky, but essentially now we're technically rolling around. How fun is that? Okay, and then obviously if we press B, we immediately transition out. So let's just quickly let's change the code a bit on how that works. So we're gonna go to here, and we're gonna set this to be but I'm just thinking in my head how I want the logic to follow here. Let's close out all these extras here. Okay, so we might only do this in the code, right? So if we aren't rolling, what we want to do Let's add another branch here and check that our character velocity, get velocity, is less or less than, let's say, so I think I also just want to double check. Let's just print a string quickly. Print. Wait, where is our tick? There we go. Just gonna add on here quickly. I just want to get a print string just to make sure my code is working as I wanted to. So just copy this over here. And I'm just gonna test quickly, so let me just check that it's printing correctly. So I should have 0 and then up to 600. Yeah, okay. And then if I sprint faster, it will eventually go up to 900. Great, and then we're rolling at 900. Okay, sweet, and then we can slow down. Okay. So we can obviously change the rate if you want, so we can maybe make this up to like 2. I think that's fine. Just fine. Okay, great. So come back over to your animation graph. We're gonna go to where our main states is. All this code is technically correct, so if we come back over here to our player, we need to make sure that our velocity is less than 200. If it is, then we can stand up. So let's just double check that this is working. So we can roll and then we can stand, right? So if I'm going now faster, I shouldn't be able to stand. So I'm automation B. My character is technically not standing back up, right? But then go here. So let's set it so that we can let's duplicate the role. Duplicate the role, and let's just make this role idle, right? Next up, and let's actually do this. So let's go make a legacy blend space 1D. Just find your many, and we call this blend space 1D role. And the only thing we're gonna have here is speed, and we're gonna have this up to 900, and that's all fine, right? We're gonna have the role idle here at 0, and then the role from about, what's this, 225, right? So let me now adjust this. Role idle, we're just gonna go back to frame 1 and remove the rest of the frames, so we only have the 1 frame. Happy days. So now if I go over to the blend space I created, we're technically in idle, and then now we're at roll, right? So from here, nothing, and then we should go that way, right? And we can obviously set the rate to be 2 here and 2 here. Wait, maybe 2. Loop, yeah, that's all good. 2 there. Yeah, we shouldn't notice any weird jittering from here. Okay, so I come back over here. We're gonna go here. Actually, we need to go to our rolling locomotion, which is over here. Rolling, and now we're gonna put in the blend space we just created. So bring this over. And we can use the speed variable, which is this ground speed over here. Happy days. So there we go. And now if I crouch or go into rolling state, character will stand still, and then we'll roll, and then eventually roll like that. Yeah, kind of. Like I said, this is a very janky iteration of it. It obviously use much nicer animations with something you're doing. Like I said, this was just to quickly do this, and you can see we emergent gameplay. We've got hops. Okay, and obviously we can't now stop, but if we roll into Crabman, nothing happens, right? We can try to roll over him again. There we go. Okay, but that's because we jumped on his head. So if we roll into this guy, nothing happens, right? So let's set that to roll into him and deal damage, right? And there we go. That's weird. It's very weird. Okay, I think that might be because of the smoothing and stuff we set up. So just adjust things. Maybe set that to 0. That's all fine. That's all fine. Wait, speed maybe 1. Maybe we shouldn't have it as a blend space because of the jittering. So let's see what happens if we go here, go add state, roll idle, and then go here to here and say ground speed is greater than, say, 50. Then we can transition to rolling and then do the opposite, which is to say ground speed is less than 50. Right, like so. And then we can go put here the roll idle, which is over here. Yep, there we go. Make sure that's turned off. This has the rolling, which is fine. Actually, we now need to change this to be the roll animation and not the blend space. And then we can go over here, check rolling. This is rolling. So rolling state, yep, that's all good. So now if we test this quickly, crouch, no problems, and then we can roll much better. Come to a stop. There we go. Bit better. Actually, that's quite nice. Okay, so let's go ahead with the rolling. So we want to probably let's just set this as set rolling mode. And then from there, we need to now make it so that we overlap with the sphere. So let's just call this rolling damage sphere. Right. Let's actually get this and go on begin overlap. Hit, maybe hit, maybe not hit. Okay, begin overlap, that's fine. Move this under here. And actually I also want to change, because what's going to happen is if we go into the rolling state, our capsule component is still going to be as big as it is, right? So let's just create a new custom event called rolling mode, right? And we're going to get our capsule component and set height, or capsule height. Let's just double check capsule half height, yeah. Set capsule half height, like so. That's fine. And currently it's set to 90. So we want to probably halve that, so set this to 45. And we can probably just go, yeah. So I'm just gonna leave this for now. I'll come back once I've thought about this a bit more. On the other actor, we need to make sure that they have the actor as tag and say enemy. Okay. Yep. And if they do get a branch, then we'll deal damage to them, right? Because we don't want to be dealing damage to everyone we run into. So if they are the enemy, we're then gonna deal apply damage, right? And the damaged actor is going to be the other actor. Let's reroute this. And obviously we can set the damage there. So we can promote a variable, call this rolling damage. And we can just set this as, say, 20. Yeah, so what we can do on the rolling mode, because we also want to change this, is this mustn't be active at the start. So we could probably set this to not generate overlap events. Set generate overlap events. So at the start here it shouldn't, so just turn that off. So shouldn't, and then when we are rolling, turn it on. And then obviously when we're not rolling, can set generate overlap events back to false, like so, right? Now we go rolling. Right. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then I think as well, let's just debug this by going hidden, set hidden in game to be false, just so that we can see, right? So let's just double check quickly. So if we go here, press B, you can see we've got the ball here. And we're now in the floor. That's because of the capsule half height. So if we set that back to 90. Oh, there we go, see? So we need to stop that by doing only once, do once node to fix that. But let's fix the half height. And yeah. So we've got an error here. Remove. Okay, that's just from the quest thing, because we don't have the quest technically. Okay, so that's all fine. Okay. So when we're in rolling mode, we've set the half height. So let's just move these over. Okay, so something I am forgetting is we're gonna set the unrolling event. Unrolling custom not rolling event. So we're basically gonna have to do the same, just set these back to their original. We can actually get rid of this now, set it here. And then set this quickly to be hidden again, just so that we know it's working. Okay. Yeah, I just want to double check quickly. We stop, we go back here, and then bounces back up. Yeah, so it's not right. Okay, so what we need to do actually is we gonna do it on the mesh instead. Go set relative location, like so. And we're gonna get the Z, and we're gonna set this to be 45. So currently our capsule is at 90, so when we halve it, we go to 45, so we need to boost the character up by 45, right? And then we'll do the same again over here, but it will be 0 instead, like that, right? This is all getting a bit too close to comfort, so let's just do this, and let's just do the do once quickly. Do once, and then we'll say we have to delay this, and we can only hit them every, say, 1 second, and then we can set the reset. Maybe do this on the character so that they're like, after they take damage the first time, they can't take damage for the next like 10 times or 10 seconds or whatever it is. Okay, so here we are. Now we crashed and we've got a problem. Oh, that's even worse. Oh, it's because I'm connected beyond. We just want to connect this up like this. Check. Okay, perfect. There we go. Okay, so let's go roll into our guy now. Donk. There we go. Hit him once. Hit him twice. Hit him 3 times. Hit him again. And why aren't you dead? There we go. And if we stop, great. That should disappear now. Don't know why it's not. Oh, it's because I haven't set the event. So we're gonna come over here. We're gonna go not rolling event. Right. Happy days. That should all be fine now. So let's see. There we go. And then if I stop, that's weird. Yeah, as well. Let's just double check. Wait, what is it currently? Minus 90, so it's minus 90. Always going to be the defaults, not what we set before. So now if we, yep, there we go, perfect. So now if I walk over to my character, shouldn't deal any damage when we walk into them, like normal. And then we can attack, and then we can quickly run away and roll away. Dunk, and then jump. There we go. So that's how I think you could easily do a rolling attack, like so, and then stop and go back, right? You'd obviously set a bunch of checks on your character, because you don't want to, because if I left click now, you see this is what's happening rather than us rolling. So we can go over to our melee, which would probably be, where is it? That's the jump, dash, let's go light attack. Sorry about this, trying to figure this out. Put it all in a node. Yeah. So on here, now we just add a branch on our attack node, right? And we can set it here. So if we're in the rolling mode, we can't attack, right? But if we're not in the rolling mode, then we can go like normal. So if I go now, attack like normal, go into rolling mode, can't attack, and then I can roll. and still can't attack, but I can jump and stuff. Right. And then you probably do the same for talking to people and collecting spheres or collecting objects, because you can see I'm in the rolling mode, talk to him. Except I found the thing on stage, which is probably this here. This here. So that's just how you generally, like, you need to be able to do all those checks where you want to make sure that your character's not doing what they shouldn't be. So I hope that helps in making a rolling attack.